So you did 4 years in Yakanja?
Yes.
4 years. Did you get to do your O levels ama hiyo ilikuja baadaye ama ilikuwa ya watu wa kitambo sana?
We did Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, KCSE. So the O levels, KCPE, used before the previous or form of education.
Okay.
So this other one was actually Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. Yeah.
Okay, so you did 4 years.
I did 4 years.
And then you transitioned into college.
Before transitioning into college, there was a time of reprieve a little bit because I stayed at home a little bit. Then December, January, February, I got a job in Nairobi.
Rural to urban migration.
Yeah, exactly, rural urban migration. And so it was very exciting. You know, like the way people usually say, it's usually a celebration. Yeah, exactly. And when you're living actually with the ruler, is when now your folks sit you down and tell you, okay, fine. You know, by that time electricity has not come to our place. Now it's there, it's all late. But it was dark. Now I'm going to Nairobi where it is all late. And my folks, especially my mom, had told me, you should know Nairobi in Kikuyu dialect. Nairobi is a place where it is full of light. And even grown-up people get lost in the same light, in the same lighting. That's what I was told. So I remember those words. Yeah. Those words quite vividly, I remember. And so I was escorted by my brother, who was working now with the city commission, city council. And so I first of all resided where he was residing. Then I did a job whereby my uncle, actually, who employed me, was working in one of the major hospitals in Kenya. To be specific, it was Kenyatta National Hospital. He was working in ICU. And so by that time, he was working there. He had a bus that used to apply Nairobi Gong route. And by that time, he had a hotel. From the same hotel, he used to supply snacks in Kenyatta Senior Staff Cafeteria. Then I was to handle that department of the snacks and confectionaries, everything. And I did it. So I perfected my art in making. That
was your first ever job?
That was my first ever job in Nairobi. That was very exciting. My salary was very good by that time because it used to be 400 shillings.
Per month?
Per month.
Unajua ukisema 400 sasa hivi.
Yes.
Kidogo hapo ni kudharau mtu.
I used to work at home harder than that, but I never used to be paid.
Yeah.
Taking coffee actually to the milling every time and sometimes spending the night there. So going to a place where you're being paid. I remember with the 400 shillings, I bought my first ever jeans suit that costed 250 shillings.
What?
And I bought my first white shoe. And I bought my first cape, J5, which was white and red.
Hey,
so when I was going back home, nilikuwa naweza.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, it was. I had, hey, Nairobi is good. Hey, no, it wasn't bad. So by that time, I had saved 150 shillings, which I was to buy the shopping for home. It was
now home back in Nyeri?
In Nyeri, yeah.
Okay.
That's when I was telling you I went back to Nyeri. I paid 40 bob to go to Nyeri. So I had to set aside the 40 bob and 40 bob, two of them.
That's 80 bob.
That 80 bob. Then from 150, I have something to do about 70 bob. 70 bob was enough shopping.
A lot of shopping. Kama mkate ilikuwa shilingi moja na 30 bob.
Yeah.
So salary
go and
200.
Salary ya tajiri.
Yeah.
Kuna salary na kuna mshande. Hiyo ni salary.
Yeah.
Kuna mshande
ni?
si yenye
Ila kila siku
20,000. Saa hii sasa na kuna salary yenye. Mshande is pay for convenience. Salary na pay for convenience.
Okay.
Exactly.
So ukisikia mtu anaita yake mshande
kidogo bado is a struggling brethren.
Yes.
No.
Wezi ita nini mshande?
200 shillings.
Yes. So I don't know whether mine was the whatever.
Ilikuwa salary.
So with 70 bob.
Yeah.
70 bob, I had enough. Actually, I told my younger sister, small sister, take a bag. You go and do some shopping.
Hey.
Then you could even bounce to the shop. By
Big
that time,
brother
you want
vibes.
people to see you around. Now you are from Nairobi. So by that time, we went and 70 bob was good money. In fact, I did shopping. I left something to my mom kidogo, hata kama ni 30 bob, 40 bob, had enough. I had some stipend that I gave to my younger sisters who escorted me back to the stage.
Oh.
That is after staying there for about 2-3 days. Then I continued. Then in my hustle here and there, there's a very interesting story which I would like every other young person to hear. That the struggling of finances, we still had young people who are below me, born after me, and they wanted education.
Yeah.
So when I got to a certain age where now I'm earning, could not stress my families anymore, my family anymore, to pay for me for more education. So I had to save. These 400 shillings I had to save.
Yeah.
So I deny myself a lot of luxury. And apart from a kashat, a t-shirt here and there, and sometimes, you know, then I was making snacks, so I did not have any luxury for going to buy.
Food, yeah.
Exactly. So it's actually, it was something, a training that I got by default. So I was trained to do that. I did it perfectly. And even to date, I like that of making samosas, which I do for my family now and then.
Yeah.
In fact, my daughter, I trained my daughter, handed
Yeah.
over, and she liked it.
And they're really nice.
Yeah, thank
They're
you,
really
thank you.
good
I'm happy to hear
samosas.
that.
Yeah.
So she learned with a lot of interest to make them. So, and she makes for us sometime now and then.
In the
I
house,
chip
yeah.
in now to assist a little bit. And the samosa whereby you could roll, you know, the dough of those whatever breads about to produce 160 samosas at once, at one roll.
Hey.
Yes.
And then
You
the
just-
stress who doesn't even know how to kanda unga.
Yes, you
at
just
the
kada,
village.
you oil in between as a separator.
Wow.
Then you spread, when it comes big, you put it on the whatever, on the hot pan. Then you can just peel them one by one.
Yeah.
Then after pressing them somewhere, you cut in quarters. Then you can roll the pouches.
Unazifeel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first ever career. Then my lady was so good. She passed on me. She rest in peace.
So at this time you've already moved out because when you came to
Yes.
Nairobi you were living with your brother.
Oh,
Na hii
yes.
salary ya 400 bado unalipa rent
Now I have moved
from your
for my
brother's
brother.
home.
It was a fast track.
Where were you living now?
Dagoretti corner.
Wow.
That's where I landed.
In your first home.
Yes.
Your first house alone
Exactly.
as a single bachelor.
In fact, my first
Dagoretti.
house was paid by my uncle. And we
okay.
became neighbors.
Okay.
This and my room could pay for it, about 150 shillings
Per month.
a month. It had electricity. So we could go actually for water crossing. We could walk outside the gates and you go, it used to be a communal place. Water we could get outside. You go out of the gate. So if the gate is locked before you get your water, you suffer. And if a gate is closed before you leave yourself, you also suffer. Then, because actually it used to be in the landlord's place who was living, a landlady's place which used to be very near.
Okay.
Then from that, I was given a piece of where I could grow some kitchen something by my landlady, yes. It wasn't, it was about a quarter of an acre. So I could produce potatoes, could produce onions,
Wow.
could produce some bogas. And it used to be very good. So I stayed in that business. I helped my uncle until he retired. That is after around, that was 1991, 92. 92 he retired and he left the responsibilities of the business to me.
Yes.
So I proceeded on. One samosa used to sell at a shilling and 20 cents. Yes,
Okay.
a shilling and 20 cents. So the income from all those samosas I used to sell was 60 bob in a day. But it used to be massive.
60 shillings. That's a lot of
Because
money.
from 5 bob, I could make breakfast for people who have visited me. You buy the half pint. The
Na 5 bob.
You buy the quarter pint, you know, the small, the mini packet. It used to cost a shilling and 50 cents. You could buy half a kg of sugar with a shilling and 50 cents. That is 3 bob. Then you could buy bread, half
A shilling.
a shilling and 50 cents. So with 5 shillings, you even have a surplus for sweets, which is 5 bob. And you have made yourself proper breakfast, which has milk, it has
But
everything.
I wish I wish I was
Yes.
born in those times because it seems very interesting.
By that time, if you, sorry.
Sahi naona venye kama seme mimi nimelelewa Nairobi, so I'm working ndio niende ushago.
Yeah.
Hapo mse ushago wako uko na dream tu yani
Kukuja
watakuja
tao.
Nairobi.
So wait, I forgot to ask.
Yes.
By the time you were relocating to come and work for your uncle, had you been to Nairobi before when you were in high school and primary school? Mlikuwa mmeletwa Nairobi na maybe your parents or a school trip, something like that?
A school trip, we could come actually for a school trip. Could come for showground.
Okay.
To,
Uhuru Park. Nimewahi kuja trip Uhuru Park.
Exactly. I come, I've sat in the parliament.
Ah, wow.
Those times used to be there because it used to be education. We used to do, actually in your, whatever, in your school program, it used to be called civic education, which these days I think they call it government.
Yeah.
Civic education, we used to be, because you are learning something civil. So parliament, the backbenchers, the front benchers, the whips, everybody. And then the way the executive, you know, the arms of the government,
Yeah.
we could learn. So we could come to the parliament,
Okay.
and we could feel free now sitting like the members of the parliament.
Listening to
At
the
some point, I
proceedings.
remember I was so excited, I almost went to sit where the speaker sits. I was where doing part. With that kind of excited, yes. So it was really, really exciting. So I used to come to Nairobi. So Uhuru Park I used to know.
Okay.
I even have a photo where we are seated with my sister, elder
Ninyi
sister.
mmeshikilia KCC hivi.
Oh,
Exactly.
goodness.
Mkushikilia
Exactly.
KCC hivi.
And the monument, where you could sit on this side,
Yeah.
and then we take a photo which was, you could keep very safely. By that time, you used to pay for the photo. It wasn't very cheap. You used to pay $5 for
And
it.
it's colored or
It's
not
colored.
colored?
It's colored.
Which is sana mwe piga picha umeshika nini KCC
Mini
hivi.
Gen Z, please.
Yeah. Or even you lift your leg and it looked like you're stepping on it. And those guys would be professional. They could time.
My God, so ghetto, but so I understand. These are times.
Yes.
Ai, si mpaka saa hii.
Times are
Yeah.
no.
Ai, KCC kumejaa photographers.
Hivi, no, like kupiga
Yes.
picha umefanya hivi.
Yes.
No, these days we've transitioned. We're doing that with the moon. Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
Oh, so unafanya hivi.
Eh,
moon.
you are
Unafanya
unaifanya.
moon,
Yes, please.
Enda
Or hold it
kuna
like this.
photographers wamejaa hapo
Yeah.
nje.
No.
So by that time, even success cards used to be photos taken
Za Nairobi.
from Nairobi. You see a guy and a girl holding, then that is a success card.
Yeah.
It will be
It's
accepted.
interesting.
Once you receive that, unapita mtihani. That's what we used to believe.
Huna option.
You don't have a choice.
Success card yangu ya KCPE. Mamangu alienda Facebook yangu. Kachukua the worst photo.
Okay, not ugly, but that one photo that you don't like,
Kaiweka kwa success card.
printed.
Sasa success card hiyo picha mbele ni yangu. Nikakaa mchuo man. Ilikuwa ya high school. But I don't remember. But venye tu amesema success card nimekumbuka. Success card yangu ilikuwa na picha yangu. But
Aidhuru. So now you worked at your uncle's business until he retired, and then you took over from there. He was so comfortable. Like ulikuwa umeaminiwa.
Kabisa.
You know, a lot of times I listen to business people and they talk about not trusting your family members in your business because wanaweza kufanyia mambo.
Exactly.
They will destroy that business for you.
Yes.
So to see that your uncle was able to even kind of hand it over to you, it means that you're a very trusted person.
Exactly.
You are very disciplined. You're full of integrity. It's integrity, right?
It is integrity, yeah.
You're full of integrity, which is...
In fact, I did not have a choice.
It's a quality to admire, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a quality to admire.
And I did not have a choice. Did not know any other way. Integrity was a way of being brought up. It's a place whereby when you're growing up, you are seen with a shilling. Could explain even where it has come from.
Lazima.
With a proper beating.
Accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even receiving just money from a stranger, we were not allowed to do that.
How? Uta explain. You have
Yeah,
a lot of explanation to do.
Because if you are well and given by a relative, you must have stolen.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. And we grew in that straight path like that. In fact, I grew in such a way that I was an altar boy when I was a small boy.
You were Catholic.
I was a Catholic. I was an altar boy. I'm the one who could ring the bell if you want people to kneel. Ring again when you want them to wake up.
Yeah.
Ring again when you want them to receive the sacrament.
Yeah.
And then we used to be two. The padre sit here, then here
One
and
on
here.
the right, one on the
Then
left,
when
yeah.
he's sitting down, the robe should actually be over the seat. You know that. You
Yeah,
have a history of
I've attended Catholic
I used to be
churches.
those people
Yeah.
who could actually give the command for you to start to kneel and everything. And then, so I went to that line whereby I got all the ordinances because my parents wanted me to be a padre. So I got all the sacraments.
Komunyo ya kwanza.
Kuna ya kwanza. There's a second one.
Yes.
The first one is baptism.
Yes.
Which you're baptized even before you know. So I had to be masked again when I came to baptism. And I actually, yes, then the second one, there's confirmation. The last
Confirmation.
one, confirmation. And then you are left with the choice of the seventh one,
Yeah.
which is either marriage,
Yeah, marriage. Yeah.
but I know we'll get there,
Yes.
or you get ordained to become a padre.
Priest.
So what happened is that my family was so excited that a padre is coming, a father.
To the family.
Yes, even the clan. So I grew like, kila mtu
Ulikuwa
rudi pade hii.
unajua.
If you go astray, rudi pade hii, you are becoming a padre, you are becoming a father.
Wow.
If I became a person whereby if somebody is going to get a certain ordinance, I could start behind them, their children.
Oh, wow.
My dad was a catechist by that time. My mom was a choir, like a choir leader, or was actually doing some job in the choir. So by that time, I did not have choice of not having integrity at all. So by that time, back to the business, where I did the business for my dad, the business of the bus collapsed and the bus was sold. So my business for the hotel and making the snacks actually is the one actually that stood. And it was left to me. When my cousin went now with my uncle back to the country, back to up country.
Ushago.
So I was left alone. Now the words I was given, ni wewe peke yako na Mungu wako. But the first thing that I was given, I was introduced now to the Baptist church, that is the Reruta Baptist church, where my uncle used to worship. So he led me there. He had worship for that place from the time immemorial, and actually led me there. First and foremost, that's when I became a Baptist. Though I used to admire Baptist church right from my rural home, which was actually started by the missionaries. That's where I started actually serving in Reruta Baptist Church.
Reruta.
Fast forward, when actually I was still moving, now alone. Now I started, now what I hated most is stagnating. And that stagnation comes when you are at a state of comfort.
Yeah.
Position of, I want everybody to hear this. You should always struggle to move from a point of comfort.
Yeah.
It's usually called the comfort zone. Think of what you are going to do after that. If what you are doing at that point crumbles and falls, what are you going to have? Have a fallback position.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, now I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to do something. I like sciences. I liked mathematics. So anything in line of that could work. When actually, through my little business, I had bought myself a good radio. It was a big national Panasonic which could play some tapes. It was a strong one. I could hear. It was made nicely. So, and from that, I also got some interest. What about the person who made this radio? How can I hear somebody who is talking very far from here, but I can hear so clearly?
Yeah.
I got some interest in that. And if somebody can make that, and it's not that I'm discovering. There's somebody who discovered many years ago.
Yeah.
And then here is I'm hearing. So I need to understand even how to repair this.
Yeah.
So that's when the thought of going to the college came. Not even from my parents. So when I was now, I had farmed some potatoes from that farm I had mentioned. You can remember.
Yes.
And I told you to underline that plot.
Yeah.
So actually, like 2 days. So I came, I was dusty. I came and dropped them. It was a little bit, I dropped them outside to dry a little bit. Then I popped, I was so tired. I popped in my small bed sitter and I lied on the bed. I switched my car radio on.
Yes.
Before lunch. Then I had somebody, a voice of somebody who had come from America saying that there's a college they are starting and they want to sponsor some students. So I remember this guy was Dr. Coolstone from America. Dr. Coolstone, not the ambassador, but Dr. Coolstone. He was the director of that college. And then the one who was the dean and also became my lecturer was Mr. Bakris Hackett, I remember. So it's like I was in America while in Kenya because it was like an extension of a university which is called Abilene University.
Abilene.
Yeah, Abilene University, which is based in Texas. It is called Abilene Christian University. So when I heard about that, they said we had already completed the student we want to take, but we want to extend an olive branch to somebody who his feeling was locked out. And if you come by Monday, remember it was a Saturday, you come on Monday, you can register yourself. So I cleaned myself well, and I went there. I was received. I paid the admission, which was $700 from my savings. Then I was admitted.
To the school.
So from there, the first thing we were told by our lecturers, remember, don't forget my lecturer was a Barclay Circuit. So first of all, he spoke in English that I was not used to in the rural place. Because he introduced us and said that, okay, fine, there is a Christian university where we're going to train you on profession which can help you. Even without being employed, you can do something and earn you something. So that is where my professional study started, and that's where my security business started. But the security bit came way later in a very interesting way. So I went, and being a sponsorship from America, the apparatus were abundant. In fact, you had your own cubicle, which had all the apparatus. You could take the apparatus, go, take the equipment, you take a design, then you insert those things, and they start talking in about 5 minutes. And there used to be a laboratory technician who could come to assist you when you're having a problem. If you want to make a microphone, the apparatus which came actually for that purpose. So what you needed to do, there was a board, which is called the Velo board. Those who have done electronics knows. Then you slot in those equipment that you usually see, following a diagram. So it was very easy. Then, for you to diagnose, you could now plug one to see how it's behaving. So that's about repair and maintenance. So when it's behaving like this, this is what this is what is faulty. So replacing was so easy. So I perfected in the art of broadcasting, maintenance, repair, and even manufacturing from the slot. Right now I can make my own radio if I don't have a radio. If our engineering team is not having, equipment team is not having a microphone, I can just improvise the microphone and it's used. And it works very well. I can make a speaker from zero. Coils, everything, Maybellines, everything, as long as I have a magnet. That's the only thing that I need. Then you can make a broadcasting station from your house.
You can?
Yes, I can. You can, in fact, we can have, you can broadcast from your house, and you can make all the apparatus from zero.
Nono ulipotea mahali.
Naona mimi niko too lost, nimesikia Maybellines ninajua ni
Oh, sorry. A Maybelline, you see what gives the sound in the speaker? That's a Maybelline.
Oh, Maybelline.
Yeah, the Maybelline.
Mimi nasikia Maybelline.
Exactly. That gives now you see vibrating. That's a Maybelline of the speaker.
I have to pretend like I'm understanding because sitaki kujionesha hapa.
Behind it there's a coil that enters now into the into the magnet. When actually it's a little bit technical. When you pass the current, you know, if you did science, there is what we used to call the Fleming's light-hard rule.
Yes, I remember that one.
Exactly, it used to hold like this.
Oh, well.
That when the current is going like this arrow,
yes.
then the current is going like this, then the motion should be?
I can't remember.
You know, first and foremost,
cannot remember.
It became a little bit hard because I had fear for big books. It's called bibliophobic.
Oh.
If you're bibliophobic, you have the fear for books. And now, myself, I was that because I could fear big books because nilikuwa najiuliza hii itamalizika lini. And by that time, when I went actually to college, because I went and I got enrolled, I was told actually by my lecturer, get friendly with a book called Holderness. If you did chemistry, you know a big book, Holderness. It was written by somebody called Holderness. And another one for physics, I can see him laughing because actually I think he's a scientist.
Wanazijua.
Then there was another big book for physics which was called Abbott. Yes, Abbott used to be like a big book. By that time, when other books were costing 20
tuko na watu smart huko nyuma.
Yes.
Unangoja waseme diary of Olympic.
So Abbott used to be, is a writer for that Abbott book. And it used to be this. So when I looked at it in secondary school, I ignored it.
Yeah.
I looked at this other guy which was written by Holderness. And it was the same for chemistry. With that one is where you have the periodic tables. You know,
a lot of chemistry things.
Exactly. Whereby you start to see hydrogen, helium, beryllium, boron, all those up to the last one. Carbon, with their, whatever they call the international sign. So that's what I was introduced to. But God helped me. I went through it. And at first, it's good to mention that the language actually was a little bit hard for me. Translating American language and now process it in vernacular so that my mind may understand was a little bit hard. Yes. But within...
Oh, you had to...
Yes,
because you were not exposed to English as much?
Not as much.
Okay.
Okay, from rural. In fact, you used to learn...
Hata Kiswahili.
Hata Kiswahili I used to be exposed a little because I used to visit Mombasa. So that one I did not have a choice. And my dad sometimes used to talk to us in Kiswahili.
Yeah. But
And
Kikuyu
was
was
my
the
native
first language.
first language, mother tongue. So now translate that, my mind was to be very quickly to understand, especially the pronunciation of some words. Remember, you are learning something that will be tested on, and the one that is going to give you the professional certificate.
Okay.
So I had actually to work strongly on that. We never used to have the phones. So how we used to go to get, we used to be given like, we were told at first, we were told there's a crash program that's supposed to go for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, like Kenya, the college that's offering diploma. And then after that, you don't need to start to sit pretty. You book for external exam, which I did. I booked an exam from Britain's Examinations Council, which actually gave me employment. Then the next thing that I did is that after booking that, you go to look for information from Kenyan National Library Services. So because we did not have the YouTube, we did not have the phones, so you had to tarmac if you really want to excel in whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
So we went, and I remember a good friend, he's called Victor. He gave me a book which was called Principles of Electronics, which actually he has studied with and got employed. That actually was one of my simulations. I was studying it day and night, and the way you hear people talking about dipping your feet in water so that you don't sleep, it was like that. So I went sometimes, unlike now the primary and secondary school, now my small house had electricity, it had a bulb that I made good use of it. And now I could hear my neighbors knocking the door, hey, ujazima stima. So nasoma. So by that time, the crash program used to be a crash for me. By that time, my parents do not even know that I'm learning. I mean, in college.
They don't.
They don't. I'm paying school.
Unajilipia school
Yes,
fees.
tuition and everything. School. And I used to board 2 vehicles to get to school, both going and coming back. And no supplementary income that is coming in. So I went, and actually it was good. It's something that I liked, so I excelled. And I got a credit.
Yeah.
Then I booked for an external exam within the course, and I excelled. Now, the most important thing is that it used to be that whenever you are doing professional course, lazima ungefanya Bible.
Okay.
The same time that you give
Because it's a Christian-sponsored school.
Exactly. In fact, that's why I was telling one of my colleagues here that I started Bible when doing my, by default when I doing my professional course. So what happened is that the same time hours that you are giving to a professional study, you give to the Bible. And that's when I had the glimpse of theology. Because the whole time you are there, you cannot be given a certificate. You used to be tested in both. Your professional theology and your professional. As I don't know whether it happens even today because the school is still there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The school is still there.
Okay.
It's still sponsored, but now the people who are there are now the people who qualified and are taken there now. But they still have now the director who is also from America. Now, what happened is that after examining, now I had now to tarmac. Remember, now I don't have any source of income.
So you went to that school for 3 years?
I went for one, and it was a crash program.
Wait,
Yes.
no, before we get to now,
Yes.
you're looking for a job after
Yes.
studying. How did your parents take it? You already umesema you were in a different, the church that sponsored the school was a different kind of church, not what you're accustomed to. So how did your parents take it that maneno ya seminary, kukua, maybe they wanted you to be a cardinal one day, a priest. How did they take that news that's not the path you wanted to follow?
Thank you very much. I did not see it very well with them because actually for a padre, a father to come from a certain home, that was a big thing. It wasn't a simple thing. So by that time, I let them down a big time. But there is a place whereby you get to a certain age where you make your own personal decisions.
Sure.
Not based on anybody. Even the life of heaven, when you get to heaven, it's about you, not even your parents. It's you as a person. And there are some decisions you have to make. They could be hard. But to some extent, you make hard, already thought of decisions. You see. So I got saved in 1988 in ACU, where people are going for what they used to call the haying, you know, shake legging.
What?
Yeah, we used to have a Friday. You could go. There used to be a big music speaker that people could go for what they used to call dancing. That's what shaking the leg. Or you choose to go to CU or CA. CU is Christian Union.
Yeah.
Then CU
Catholic
Union.
Action.
Then I used to go to CU. And I remember one gentleman, after following for a long time, he came and told me, I can see your commitment.
Oh wait, so hizi ndo nashikanisha.
Yeah.
The big speaker with music ni entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah. There should be the group people, about 90% of the...
Oh,
of
leg
the-
shaking.
Yes,
Okay.
that is the thing. So they used to go actually for that on Friday. That used to go to the other side of the morning, like 2 a.m. If you get tired, you go to sleep. And then CU used to go up to around 12. Then CA used to go to almost the same time. So I went to CU, and a certain guy came who was a leader of the CU came, deputy leader, a leader of the CU came and told me, I can see your commitment. And according to the way you are, I am wondering why you cannot get saved. He talked to me for about 30 minutes. In fact, what he did is that he did not go to sleep. So he sacrificed sleep and actually talked to me. I
Talk to
remember
you.
up to date. And then he told me, is there anything that you are doing that is really tying you from getting saved? There was nothing actually. So he prayed for me and I got saved in 1988.
Wow.
But I had to hide it for 2 years from my parents because now even disclosing the information was actually, I don't know how they could react.
Yeah.
Then, because from home, I could go to Catholic church. Then in the fellowship, in the school, I could go to CU.
Yeah.
We could go for retreats. We could go to schools, actually to preach. And it was like that.
Okay.
And by so doing, it went on very well. Then I came actually when I came to Nairobi now, I had now to get saved again. Just to confirm that what actually was going through was it. And then I had to preach it all. I even told my parents in Niligokoka.
Now when you came to Nairobi, that's when
When
you
I came
told
to
them.
Nairobi and went back, I told them, now I'm saved.
Okay.
Yes, I got saved.
And
What? You decided to take that direction? Yes. And then we have worked hard for you? Yes.
They were disappointed you're not becoming a priest.
Really, really disappointed. Really disappointed, I must say. Even the one who taught me the class, so that I may take that line for Eucharist. They used to call it the Eucharist.
Yeah.
You know, taking the bread that used Eucharist. It was a big thing actually to be allowed to do that.
True.
Then came home and really wanted to know. And by that time, now I could answer questions.
Ni kama ulikuwa unashtakiwa sasa.
Exactly.
Huyu hataki ku.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
I when you accuse God, will always give you the answers. I gave her the courage. So the only big question that I asked, and I told God, prepare me for this. Would you have liked me not to stay saved? Then I come home in a casket. Or you would like to hear that I came back saved and I'm saved. They look at each other like this, like this, like this.
Swali gumu.
And then my mom, as a mom, said, do as you wish.
Okay.
And opened me up actually to do it. And now when you go home after that, they couldn't call me pastor.
So they had the desire that utakuwa pastor sasa.
I think
Umekataa
that's
kukuwa
what now.
priest?
They could call me the pastor. Even today, tukienda, wacha tu pastor tuhubiri.
Really?
Yes. We want to hear from, and from that, my siblings, or my brothers and sisters, told the line and got saved after some time.
Wow.
So I like that. It was a seed that God planted through me in my family, and I love the Lord for that. Fast tracking. I went through the school, still a saved boy, alone in Nairobi, with a lot of temptations. I went, and that's when I started now serving in the Luther Baptist as an usher. It's an entry that you can join into. Then, as I joined the youth, which was very, very, very actually vocal, and they used to be instrumental, and I grew. Actually, I grew very well. Until now in Luther Baptist, I became the first deacon. I was anointed in the first anointing of being a deacon.
Wow.
Yes.
At that, I can imagine you were very young.
Yes, I was, but I still had a family by that time.
Oh, you already married?
Exactly.
Oh,
I was
okay.
married.
Okay.
And by that time, my firstborn, Carol, was very young, was very tiny. But actually, that's why I started now ministry and serving at that very point. So after completing, I stayed without a job for some time. And I remember I joined a certain friend of mine, still at Dagoretti Corner, where we started now a workshop whereby we could take big jobs of repairing the communication radios, now from big companies, security companies. And now you could communicate, where you usually say, hey, yeah, control mic 9, you know, you understand the radio language, whereby A, B, C, D, alpha, beta, channel, delta, all those.
Okay.
Up to Z, Z is delta. So when you're following a vehicle, now I've entered into security a little bit, and it's KAM, you don't just read KAM.
You say?
Kilo, I said KM, it's Kilo Alpha Mike.
Kilo Alpha Mike.
That is KM. 198L, that is 198 Lima. So I'm reading, control room, are you reading? This Kilo Alpha Mike, 198 Lima. Nobody can really fathom that or even understand.
I mean, it's such a complex language, but
yes.
Okay.
I learned that, I understood it, I liked it. Then we could actually take those jobs. Then my colleague that we're working with, he had an account. So when you're being paid good money, because we started now getting big money from that, 30,000, 50,000, 60,000, he could put in his account. And now he could go reminiscing with our money all through. So I decided, now is the high time, I got employed. And so I applied in 4 companies that were doing security.
Okay.
All the 4 companies is only one that did not respond to my application. And they invited me for interviews.
Okay.
So it was when God is on your side, you choose. So I chose the one that I worked for many years, about 27 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's
pause at that.
Halt kidogo too.
Yes.
Let's now, the next segment, we're now going to focus a
Yes.
lot on that career path.
Yes.
So, marriage. When did you meet your wife? When did you get married?
It's very, very, it's actually, it's funny and entertaining the way I met my wife. I would like to say my wife, even today, has never told me yes. You know that you can propose. Say,
really, you did not go down on one knee?
Would you? I think I went down on the 2 knees, but I sat instead.
You sat instead.
I sat instead. We used to go somewhere in town. I did not have a lot of money by that time. So going to big hotels was a problem. Then we could take a soda and a cake, and then that was the proposal. And then, so I said, according to the life is going, naona tunaweza kaa pamoja. Even today,
look at how easy it is.
You know.
She has never. Yeah, you should make it so easy.
No.
Yes.
No.
I see some people putting the ring in the cake.
Hapana, hapo
Can
anaweza
easily be.
nyongwa. No.
Inaweza kung'oa meno.
Inaweza kunyonga, sasa unamaliza msichana wa wenyewe.
Na rig game bana. Kwa ring kwa keki.
No.
You are rigging game.
Yes.
So even ndo ulimwambia tunaona tunaweza kaa pamoja.
Yeah. See. And the way it started, it started where I used to go to buy my shoes. That happened to be his brother.
Her brother's shop.
Her brother.
Wow.
He was a designer of the shoes. He does it even to date.
Wow.
Yes, I once in a while go there to buy a shoe. Still in the Goreti corner.
Wow.
I usually go there. So when actually he shifted to where I was, he looked for me to look for a house for him.
Oh.
Then I looked for a house nearby, next to mine.
So I can imagine how easy it was for you to pursue your wife through the brother.
She used to pass through my house, and I could look through the gaps of the fence.
Unamuona
akipita. Then she was saved. Then it came to a time where I could go for crusades.
She was saved.
Yes.
Very important.
Alipata msichana ameokoka. Msichana wa kanisa.
Yes. So we could go now for crusades at Uhuru Park. Then those times of, they used to be so heated. Then we could come together. Wakati kuna msichana mwenyewe, hata kama huja propose, you take care of the person.
Yeah.
Wakati mnateremka through the trenches, zile watu walikuwa na keti hapo, but you hold the hand. Then you could hear the warmth of the hand.
Mnasikia?
Then,
I hope the men in this room.
Then you could escort, and even if you don't have money,
I
hope the men in this room are hearing.
You choose to pay for fare. And then unaenda kulilia nyumbani because the fare for supper, you have spent the money for supper.
Bora msichana amefurahi.
Bora amefurahia.
Talk to them.
Yes.
Lipia msichana fare. Usitume, lipa.
Usitume,
lipa.
Lipa fare.
Atakula.
Itapotea.
Don't trust Nairobi girls.
So I could go.
Ama lipa uta refund.
And those are the times whereby Even the msichana steps on you, a high heel, you say, no, hujanikanyanga. By that time, hujanikanyanga. And then unalia ikianguka when the tears are falling from inside because it was very painful. Those sacrifices must be there. Then we went ahead, we became deeper. Then we started going to Hulu Park now to swing the boat. We started saving a little bit.
That used to be romantic back then?
It used to be.
Okay.
And also the guys.
Still is.
The guys for that place used to come. And then, by that time, there never used to be the peddling ones.
Really?
Used to be there.
You row yourself.
Exactly. And by that time, you don't expect your girl to row herself.
Yeah, it's you.
So you don't have muscles, but you strain. Pretending. Nobody's seeing that you're strong.
Unauza sera.
Yeah, so it went like that until now we got married. We did our wedding in 1998.
1998.
At Sharemoyo Baptist.
So that's how many years in marriage? 26.
Many years. I stopped counting.
26.
Yeah, it's around there.
26 years in marriage.
Yes.
Wow.
So hatukukaa sana, we did not waste time. In 1999, the firstborn came. Yes. Then we saw like that was a little bit fast. 5 years later, the secondborn came. And that is my big family.
That is
exactly.
Little big family.
Yeah, and from them we've been serving in the church. And as she shifted from the church where she was attending, the Reverend Church Relota, and came to Relota's Say Tribe Baptist Church. Then we shifted together to Kahawa West Baptist Church, where now I was given this.
So Dagoretti Corner ni Ongwaro too?
Hapo ni Ongwaro. In fact, it's a walking distance. Okay. It's a walking distance. I used to walk actually to Relota Baptist. Akro unapitia a certain shortcut.
Hapo Seti.
Yes. I did not
Our
have
previous guest was from those sides.
I did not have 10 bob actually to pay for fare.
Wow.
So at one point I bought a bike, this Black Mamba, and that one could ferry me to go to church and coming back.
Black Mamba ni bike ya kucycle.
The kiki kubwa.
Black Mamba ni zile bike kubwa za black.
Yeah, there was this like them.
Ushenda ocha unapata kila mtu akona hii bike.
Yeah. The charge one,
no shade.
Not the one with the gears and whatever. Those that big one could ferry me to now Relota Baptist and back. I remember I sold it at 1,500. And that was
the bike was 1,500.
Yes. I sold it at 1,500.
Okay. Oh, not you bought it, only Messiah.
No, in fact, I bought it at 1,500 for my uncle. Then I sold it at 1,500 to a brother who really wanted it.
Okay.
Yes. So basically that was...
That's your family unit. So you've been married for 26 years. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we've been married for around that. Yes.
Tuambie ulinunua gari yako ya kwanza how much? Mimi najua.
Thank you very much for that. I had learned the art of saving. So my first car I bought before 30 years. It was a KPA 171. I saw the logbook sometimes when I was going through my perusing. And also saw the receipt. I think we shared the story. Yeah. Interesting one. Can you guess how much I bought it at?
18,000.
18,000. And you know at 40,000.
Okay.
It was a Peugeot.
Oh, wow.
And raised me to a certain level that made me almost being terminated from the place I was working.
No, Peugeot is status.
Yeah, Peugeot was a status.
I think I've heard of such stories where people talk about babangu alikuwa anaendesha Peugeot. Niko na inaitangwaje price list ya magari za kitambo. I was looking at it, I'm like, which car could I afford at that time right now?
Yes.
Interesting.
So I bought it at 40 shilling and I paid cash.
40,000.
Yes, I took a loan for 70,000. So I paid 40 and I remained with that because I remember where I withdrew the money, I put it in this pocket and it looked so much. It was very heavy for me. In town. Nani town. Ya Nairobi. I could go, reach a certain place, see somebody is looking at me. Regardless, he was going for his activities. Then I turn opposite to see whether he's going to follow me. Then I walked. I had to walk all the way. I did not have any mind that I could. There were no Ubers by that time. The taxis used to be so expensive, but it did not click in my mind I could.
Yeah.
So I bought a matatu, walked with the money.
With 30,000 shillings in your pocket. 70,000 shillings in your pocket.
Exactly. That has saved the
wangetaka kukumaliza wangekumaliza.
Wangemaliza.
Sasa hii nikao uko na 1 million.
That was back 1998.
So your value right now, it's almost kama meter. Uko na meter kwa mfuko unaenda kubuy gari.
Yes, you're going to buy a car. So I went, and actually I remember me and the guy who was a good guy from Asian descent. We locked the door together with his accountant. And by that time, the money was given, I don't think there were thousands. It was 500.
So that's a lot of money. That's
So
a lot.
it took a lot of time actually to count that
to
money. And then you don't count it alone. You give it to the next person, which adds even
To confirm.
to confirm. So I bought I have answered your question. I bought it at that age. Yes.
Before you were 30.
No, it was 1999.
1999.
Before I was 30.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then opened more doors for me because a year after or two, I bought a pickup. Yes, which was called the mini pickup, the Datsun 1200. I had 2 vehicles in the compound. And I encouraged many people who could not know that it's possible to own a car. And this young boy has bought a car. Then vehicles parked in the compound that we could complete for parking. So I had to release now the earlier one, which I sold to my cousin at 15,000.
The Peugeot.
Yeah, the Peugeot is sold at 15,000. Now close to the figure you were mentioning.
Okay.
And from the same business, he started the business, taxi business, which he's actually working on. Now he's doing his business, he's driving big cars, but he started from the harbor. Because I asked him, how much do you have? I have 15,000 later. So he gave me at least it wholeheartedly.
Quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on that marriage bit because I
Yeah.
think it ulijiintroduce kama baba ya mtu na bwana ya mtu, so
Yes.
it's a bit important to know for how long you've been married. So I think now we can dive into now the career bit.
Exactly.
Now we know your family unit, so we can now dive into this person who is passionate about the security. And I remember before I interrupted you kidogo to talk about marriage, you've mentioned that you applied to 4 companies.
Yes.
And 3 got back to you.
Exactly.
And there's one where now you accepted and you worked for 27 years.
Yes, I worked for
You've
27.
only worked for one company.
I've worked just for one company.
Okay.
The other one, which was actually manufacturing radios, that was a Kibarua, which I did for some months. But this one now was the first job with a payslip,
Okay.
which I got the employment number.
Yeah.
And in that very company, I was number senior 538 for the people who had been employed.
538 people
And
employed in that company.
Exactly. And it's a company that started in 1969.
Nani, employee number ni kama admission number.
It's like an admission number, but there used to be T, that is temporary.
Oh.
Then there should be S for senior.
What's the difference?
The different temporary employment, there are some benefits you don't enjoy. In fact, when you're temporary, you get a wage.
Or not a salary.
When employed, you get a salary.
Oh, okay.
By that time is when you are exposed to government tariffs, pay as you earn, and as you pay. All these things, call them.
Okay.
Then such things like those.
Oh, and a lot of benefits to
Of
allowances.
course,
nini.
medicals,
Oh,
allowances,
okay.
overtime, such.
So
Yeah.
how did you get to hear of this job adverts? At that time, internet kidogo. Unajua saizi we go
yeah.
online.
Yes.
There's a website called My Jobs in Kenya. I am not advertising, but
Yes.
there's so many things. So your
Yes.
time, gazeti?
Not
Ama you
really
know someone-
gazeti.
Ama you knew someone who got you inside that
Not
company?
really.
How
In fact,
did you?
The person who was just next to me was God. Nothing. Nobody else. In fact, if you don't have a friend, let God be your best friend.
Yeah.
And in fact, when you're walking with God, you're not walking alone.
Yeah.
In fact, you're walking with the best, person. If it's about anything you are going to do, and I'm using this word genuinely, and I'm using it deliberately. If there's an accomplice, let God be. If there's okay, put God first in everything you're going to do, and you'll never fail, never regret.
I think it's also very important to mention to
Yes.
our people that mmesikia ako na history na anajua stories za broadcasting na hizo stories za media. It's good to mention that he's the deacon in charge of media.
Thank you.
So it comes from somewhere. He's very passionate about this thing. Mi sikuwa ninajua.
Yes.
Sikuwa ninajua. So it's interesting to know that you actually understand the docket that you're heading.
Yes.
It's really nice. It's
Yes.
really nice. I think that's nimesikia ukimention hizo vitu. I'm like, now it makes sense why you're the deacon in charge of those
There's
things.
a time when you are having...
Larry being under him.
Actually, yes, I'm under him.
Yeah.
Not only hapo kwa media, but pia kwa security. Yes, he's my boss.
That's nice.
He's my
Good to
boss,
hear.
he's my chairman.
Yes.
Kuna time tulikuwa tunaongelea. Kumbuka hiyo time ya audit za church, mambo ya systems. So people used to come.
Yeah.
Hawawezi mkoroga. Ati mnasema hivi, he knows, mpaka anachangia, so nikajambia. then I asked him, "Aya, kumbe unajua mpaka hizi stories za mixer amplifiers?"
Yes.
Now you see where it's stemming from.
Yeah.
Ulikuwa unajua alikuwa anajua hizo vitu. You see?
Yes.
It's important. Now that's why we need to that's why BTP is here, because there's a lot that we don't know about people who
Thank
serve
you
in the
very
church. Okay. So now I don't think you're going to mention the name of the company.
I would reserve the name of the company.
You'll reserve it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now matters. Now you're a guru. I think I can use the word guru.
Yes.
In matters security.
Yes.
So now you joined. What was your your initial position in the company?
So initial position, I was actually the field engineer. They used to call us field engineer or field technicians for that matter.
What was your role? Your
And
job description?
My role was to deal with electronic security. That is installation of electronic security.
That's CCTV.
That is CCTV, which means closed circuit television. Closed circuit television because it's not broadcasting outside.
I never knew the meaning of CCTVs.
In fact,
Never
yeah.
knew.
An acronym to that is LAN. He can understand he's in IT.
Closed
LAN.
circuit?
Yeah.
Television.
Closed circuit
Television.
television. Yeah, and you know what television means?
No, I don't.
Television is not the big box that you see. The television is a Greek word that means I see from far.
No.
Tele is far. Vision is sight. So I see from far.
Wow.
So that's what television means. And radio?
I don't know.
Radio is not the big box that you see. Broadcasting or talking. Radio actually is a high frequency. So in fact, the radio, that box that we see, is called a radio receiver.
The box.
The box itself is a radio receiver because it's receiving the frequency. So radio is high frequency. So when you are transmitting the audio, you are transmitting high frequency. You are transmitting radio. Radio is in the air.
Yeah.
But the box is the receiver in the house.
Okay.
And that's why, in most cases, as usually people in IT can tell you, anything that you televise can be hacked along the air.
I showed her.
Yeah.
Hakuwa naamini. Ati that unaweza fanya vitu virtually.
Yes.
Hakuwa naamini. Acha nisiseme nilifanya nini. I just showed her an example.
Yes. Even the money we usually wire, it needs a lot of gates actually to hit that your money is not hacked. But the money we wire,
there's a lot of technical stuff about these things. Ndio maana hata hapa mkianza stories za sound makers yangu ni kusema tu mic check, because I don't like pretending like I know.
Yes.
But it's really nice to see people do things. After he showed me, there's a way he connected the computer to his phone, and I could see the cursor move, and he's directing it from his phone. I'm like, wait.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Alikuwa nauliza, why do guys cover their front camera ya laptop?
Yes.
Let me show you an example.
Yes.
These things I've only seen them in movies. Unaona sijui akina NCIS doing all of those things where they're hacking you and they can see what you're doing in the house. I'm like, even in Kenya.
Yes.
I feel like it's paranoia, but after he showed me that he can
Yes.
control a computer from his phone, I was like, Checky, this thing is serious. This thing is very, very serious. Yeah. So
these guys are good and they're dangerous. The people in IT.
Our.
But I respect them.
Wanaitwa tech bros.
The tech
They're
bros.
That's the name of my company.
And these guys,
Shameless plug.
these guys, what they usually do, they can actually even switch the camera of your phone. I'm in electronic science, so that one that I know. In fact, the first I buy, every time I buy even an iPad, like the one I have there, I seal the camera first. With that one, nobody, and with that one, somebody can easily, he just need to know the coordinate. Now, the coordinates can come even from your email.
Yeah, the mark,
The mark.
IP.
Exactly. And just to answer this before you get to that one, do you know how Google can tell you how the traffic is in your area? Do you know that?
Yes, I've seen that.
They can tell you how do they describe, how do they know? They don't have the eye that sees. What they usually know is that with present technology, anybody who is driving in a certain place must have a phone.
Yeah.
So what they detect is the phone, which is in the vehicles. So if this vehicle has a phone, this one is too close to this. This one is there's a line of the phones in that line. So they know that there's heavy traffic. If it's scattered like this, phone moja iko Kamiti, the other one is here, the other one is in Roiro.
Hakuna traffic.
No heavy traffic. So it's actually technology that builds on another one.
Nilikuwa
That's what
na discuss what he's saying, nilikuwa naambia hivyo mtu because someone alikuwa ananiuliza wase wa radio wanajua aje ati kuna
Traffic
traffic hapa,
updates.
nikamwambia the exact same thing.
Exactly. He's in IT. So
I'm
there's a place we meet actually because it's just electronic science. In fact, his is digital electronics. Then he moves a notch ahead to do digital electronics in IT.
So I'm also learning.
Yes.
It's important. It's sina knowledge. Sina
no, it's
knowledge. So
okay.
I'm learning. I'm
You're
learning
also
something.
knowledgeable in a certain area that we are not.
Yeah.
So that is how the world is. So with that one, I would like to tell you, because now we are diving into security, you should be very worried. When you go to work outside and you're in a certain hotel, there's a way you can easily know whether there's a certain camera that has been set in your room with your phone. Do you know your phone can know whether there are signals in your remote, a remote of the TV remote gadget?
It can sense signals.
You can see with the camera, turn the camera, then let the camera face your remote. Like allow me to use this. So when actually it's facing that, you press the button, you can see that signal.
Red, that red one.
No.
It's
The
not,
red one
it's not
remote.
red.
Not red.
But when you use the phone, utaona ikiwaka hiyo.
You press the remote
I mean,
when facing the camera, you'll see it work in the whatever when your camera is on. So you can know the buttons which are not working or the batteries are down. That is something I need to invoice you for.
Yeah,
Consultancy.
email.
Yeah, that's consultancy. Where the batteries are down and you're not sure whether it's your remote gadget that is down or the remote batteries are down, you can use that. Switch to the phone to the camera mode. Then let's
have the remote.
Exactly. It usually have something that looks like a little bulb there. Let it face the camera.
Yes.
So press all the buttons, you see them. You see that light. Actually, it lights in a way, visual light that you can see. That's the best way to test. In fact, in the technology of repair, that's first thing that you know what you do.
Hiyo ni kitu najaribu leo.
Yeah, go and try. Even from here.
Hapa
if you have a
offset
remote,
tutafanya tu.
Yeah, he'll do it for
Fanya
you.
tu na remote tungeifanya practically.
Yeah, in
Tunaweza
fact,
fanya hata
Free
sahi.
practicals.
I give the duty to him.
Hatuna remote.
There could
Let
be.
us simu, just give me
My
any
phone.
Yeah, give me any phone.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you
sure
have
you-
yours there, ama?
Abu asha kamera yako.
Okay.
You want to use possibly the two of them.
Can you angalia hapa kama itawaka
Yeah.
using your camera.
Ni
Switch
mulike
the
hivi.
camera mode.
Unaona ikiwaka waka hapa juu hapa.
Wait, ni zoom.
Venye utataka tu. Unaona ikiwaka.
Mi sioni.
I think juu kwa mbali.
Yeah, you're
My,
slightly
my
far.
phone has an infrared. Kama,
Yes.
Kama ya nini?
Yeah, kama
Kama
your
ya
remote.
remote.
Hebu try
Exactly. You bring it near.
I can see it.
Yes.
I can see it.
That's infrared being transmitted from here. It is being intercepted by your camera. Then you can visually see it.
Yep.
And you know that one, that in between here when you're learning, it's killed a lot of people.
Wait, I feel like
Yeah.
that is
You'll do it. You'll do it. That is something. That's what you do when you're testing your remote gadget.
wow.
Yes. See, that's why I tell you IT. And this electronic, it meets somewhere.
Kumbe tech
Yeah.
bros mnakuanga wasekuli hivyo.
That's what
Gosh.
happens.
People are cool, man.
Number two, in security, because I want to actually us to
To focus on that mostly.
There's somebody who can really, that's a way you can monitor when there's a transmitting camera in your room for privacy, because that is part of security. Somebody could be monitoring you. And scrupulous people set cameras. When you're coming
I've
from
seen
the,
that when people especially are talking about hotels.
yes,
You can have there was a time where I don't think if I'm comfortable mentioning it, but watu wanasema a lot of things are being sold into other internet, so
Yes.
be very careful and check each and every place that you think they can hide. So
Exactly.
be very ukienda kwa hoteli sana
Be
because
very, yeah.
people are very
people are bad.
bad.
The world
mannered.
is to that level.
Yeah, they're selling
So just
clips.
take the camera out in your room, in the bathroom, in the toilet. Yes, you'll be in a position to see. If you see something illuminating from your camera, that was just by way of actual information. It's a whole thing. Somebody can follow you with a drone the size of a mosquito. That it can't just come, you cannot feel it in your head. Unaingia nayo kwa nyumba na unafunga. That nobody is seeing you there. But that thing has an antenna. It has a processor.
And it's so tiny.
It's transmitting to the next room over the other place. And then it can be in a position. Just Google, you are going to see the tiny drone. The micro drone. You can learn all those. There are those that look like dragonfly. There's that mosquito. There's a fly. There's everything. Just Google, you're going to see them. So that was just a by way of security, part of security.
Pia ingine in case tu umetafuta umekosa zima wifi yao. Don't use their wifi.
Yes.
Because something as small as a kadogo hiyo ina storage, so of course ni live feed.
Yeah.
Just zima tu wifi. I don't use their wifi.
Wow.
Yes. And you see also requires technology actually to switch off the Wi-Fi. So it's a whole different spectrum of actually training that you need to see that. We can see even from the time of history, birds have been used now to go and investigate. Yes, certain areas. You can just be a bird, see a bird thinking it's just a bird, which is just perching on the tree. But it's actually taking surveillance over you.
Okay.
So it's there, and we must admit it's science. That's the direction that the world is going.
Developing every single day.
Exactly. So it's happening. So one thing I did not want to leave behind is to step back. When I went actually and that's why I talked about putting God first. I went to that company. And we were, when actually you asked me how I heard about it.
Yes.
There was no technology. So the company I was working for, which actually based in Kenya producing radios, they gave me the kibarua. That is the temporary employment.
Internship attachment?
No, it was just not even internship.
Oh, okay.
Kibarua that we were being paid.
Okay.
And per day we were being paid 90 bob. And my house allowance per month was 100 bob. That was the house allowance, which was actually written in the wage that I was getting.
Okay.
Then from that point, the company we were working for had hired this company that employed me later for electronic gas security. That is transmitters, backup, where you press the button and the backup come to respond. They also had now their gadgets there. So the technician that used to come to service, I admired, including the aprons they were wearing. So I asked him, how can I get to this company? Then he told me, just apply. It's nothing much. That is what we did. So I applied. I was given the job. And when I applied, we were 17 of us. But there's a point I want every other person to say, take. In the place, there's a lot of talk. There's no vacancy. It's even written everywhere.
Yeah.
But don't trust that. Say your vacancy is there. Tell God my vacancy is there.
Yeah.
If you're the one who gave me education, if you're the one who gave me the certificates I'm having, if you're the one who gave me the papers that I'm having,
you'll make that way.
You'll make that happen. So by that time, I went, and the people who had come for the interview, I was given the paper. Then one of the people in the interviewing panel came. I remember that was around December, it was October 1995. It was around that place. Because actually, it was, I was engaged on 5th of October 1995. So that was a week before, like 1st of October. So when actually I was given that, somebody advised me somewhere. When you get such an opportunity, let your name be there first. Because the interviewer, if you want 3 people, and you all qualify, he closes the chapter there.
Yeah.
The rest is just a formality. Unless the rest of the people does.
PR.
Exactly. So
I learned that.
Yes.
Tulikuwa tuna interview at our website.
Exactly.
We had a few candidates, but by the third one, tushajua.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tushajua huyu ndio. Sasa wengine wakikuja ni sawa, yes.
Yes.
Tushapata mtu wetu.
Tushapata kila mtu mwenye ametick boxes zote.
Okay.
Yes.
What he's saying.
Yes.
I learned that physically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So by that time, because I also got to a place where I could interview people,
Okay.
the first people, be among the first, actually. If you're looking for a job, be among the first who are being interviewed. In fact, grab up for the position. Just present yourself the best that you can. No, don't panic. Present yourself in a good way. In fact, present yourself the way the boss can present himself.
Okay.
They could be looking for somebody who is going to take the position of boss who is leaving. And they train you for that. They say, instead of that position, take this one. We'll train you for that.
Nice.
So that's the way it is. So I dived into the security, whereby God helped me. In fact, I was taught computer by the organization. They employed a tutor for me. And when now I dived to the management, fast forward. When I went now to the management, they employed a computer for me. That it was during the computer era where I did all the, the DOS, MS-DOS, everything, desktop preparation, all these Word, Excel. It was a big thing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Kama computer packages.
Yeah, they are computer packages. The DOS, there used to be those things which you call the diskettes.
Yes.
Floppy disks. I don't know.
Oh, back
present.
then, that's-
Back then.
Back then,
Sijaiona
ya 2
floppy
MBs.
disk.
Exactly.
Hiyo ukiwa na 2 MBs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just flop it like a cassette. It's called a floppy disk. So I was trained all those. And now with a little knowledge of electronic science, it wasn't so hard for me. So we went now, we could get experts, even from far and wide, Israel, Netherlands, because the owner of the company was Netherlands-based. Actually, the owner of the company, the chairman, was Netherlands-based, from UK. So what happened is that they could get people to come and train us. And most of these people are fast in security. I got so interested.
Yeah.
Our company used to have the dog kennel, whereby we have the whole section. Used to have electronic gadgets, where we talk of electronic security, which is CCTV, that's where we were. We have the automatic systems, whereby you can arm your house and go. You can be in a position, just enter the code, you arm it for the night, and you disarm in the morning. Or if you are going, you arm it. When you come back is when you enter the person and disarm it. So it involves the motion sensors, it involves the dog magnetic contact, the vibration sensors for the windows. We also have some other things called the optical beams. The optical beams work in a way like what he has just demonstrated, that beam over there can communicate with another beam on the other side wirelessly. So if you cut the beam, in fact, it's a technology that's usually used in the lift.
Yes.
Do you know a lift cannot close when you're in between there?
Yeah.
It's a security feature.
So
Yeah.
break hiyo
Yes.
hiyo ni imemake naona
Yes.
lift inafunguka because umebreak hiyo barrier.
Yes. In fact, if you're curious enough, you see these beams around there. They're put at the height of the waist here, and on the other side, they're transmitting. So if you cut that beam, it opens again. It gives a command for it to open again. It's very hard to be closed in between the lift door.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Then the automatic gates where you can use the remote button to open the gate. But before we dive into that, it's good and very important to define the word security, because we are already into that. And we can say that security is a state of feeling danger, sensing free from danger. Security is a state of feeling free from danger. That's basically security. If you are not feeling any danger, you're secure.
You're secure.
If we are living like place like here, I cannot see anybody feeling that we could be
In danger.
endangered. So the feel that you are free from danger, that is security. And that is why most of the people usually go now to an extent of actually, protecting themselves from danger. And then they engage manned guarding, that is fast. And I'll talk like that as I go. So there's manned guarding, there's automatic electronic security. There is what we also call the dogs, the security dogs.
Dogs.
Yes. There is also something that we call quite a number of things. Because insecurity can come from the surrounding.
Yeah.
It can come from within and from without.
Yeah.
There is also something which is called defensive driving, because that is also part of insecurity. Somebody can block you as you are going. Somebody can block you from both sides and you are not able to move either forward or behind. So even when you're entering your home, should be part of security, should be very worried about the surrounding. Be conscious. Have what people usually call the 60th sense. You know, they're usually called the 5 common senses. Have the 60th sense. That whenever you are entering your gate like this and you are driving, do not enter like this and you lock yourself, because somebody will just come and park behind your gate. That's what part of what we used to train people on defensive driving.
I have my cousin.
Yes.
Nilikuwa nashindwa mbona anafanya hivyo. Tulikuwa naenda kwake.
Yes.
Apaka kiface gate.
Yes.
Ana like a face gate at all.
Yes.
Ataingia kishafunguliwa. Then kumbe ilikuwa for security.
Exactly. Those are people who have gone through defensive driving.
Yeah.
So you park some few meters from the gate.
They don't
but
teach this
facing
in driving schools.
the runaway, the escape route. So that if anybody comes,
You can.
and you see the person has parked behind you, has come out, you'll be in a position to see whether he has an arm. In fact, you'll be in a position to know whether this person is about to cause any security.
trouble, yeah.
You can just, drive off. But when you have just entered the gate, he parked behind you,
Umejifungia.
na mtaingia na yeye kwa nyumba. Umejifungia.
Yeah.
So that is part of security. Then manned security, the people that you are, because we have talked about the surrounding.
Yeah.
In fact, all the people, like what I was taught in primary school, that living things usually respond to stimuli. Stimuli is anything that can evoke reaction. You know, in an organ or in something. So if, respond to stimuli. So that's what you should be. Be reactive to anything that is around. Then, man guarding, you should employ somebody that becomes like a family. Vet the person to know that he has clear record, and that's why you see people going for big companies.
Yeah.
Because you have a fallback position. If you just employ somebody who comes and say, natafuta kazi ya askari.
Watchman.
Exactly.
So
be careful. Be careful.
Who
That
you
is
allow.
person you are trusting with your family. Is a person you are trusting with everything
With
that
your
you have in the house.
property, yeah.
With your property and everything. So employ a security that you are very, very, your ego, all your conscience is telling you this is the right. Come to the house, treat him as a family. If you are cooking, he just anasikia harufu mzuri ya chakula and you're not feeding him.
Anakula tu hewa.
Exactly. So this person should be in a position to feel like he's part of the family.
Yeah.
Say hi to the person we are leaving. And then they report very well. When you're coming back, how was the day? It was very nice, madam. And they're ready even to give a lot of information.
Yeah.
Watu wengine tu walijaribu kupadia hapa kwa wall. But I worked with them, I worked on them. Such a thing. Let them feel that they're part of the family. So sometimes even be given a day off. Yeah,
It's
let them
important.
go visit the relatives.
Yeah.
And they'll be talking very good of you. When they come back, they're already rejuvenated to work and give you the security that you need. Number 2 that I should not like to leave behind is the dogs, because that is what sometimes will make you, they alert you when there is insecurity.
Yeah.
The dog that we have will come again and discuss about the best dog that we have in security, because we have, Bubbles, we have the German Shepherd, which are the best in security.
The K9.
We have the, in fact, canines, the canines, but actually, canine is usually given to all form of dogs.
Yeah.
Because actually, it's
a
canine
Yeah.
is an abbreviation of canine. You know, the canine with the fangs and everything. So canine came from canine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the big canines that dogs usually have. So those dogs, the one who feeds them, it actually what it gives allegiance to the person who is feeding it. Because when it's ugly and you're coming for its rescue, to love you,
Yeah.
it will definitely do.
And they say dogs are very loyal.
They're loyal. And much of it, they're loyal to the person who is showing it kindness, like any other, like any other pet that you may be having at home.
Yeah.
So if you're feeding it, you have ever fed it, that dog will remember 20 years the person who fed it, and it was happy.
Really?
So the person who came to your house and fed it can come 20 years and rob you, and the dog will not out. It will remember this person came back to feed me.
Wow.
That's
So it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
Yes, to some extent.
it's a
When
good
they
thing
own
and a
out the
bad thing.
dog, make sure that you're having a good rapport with your dog.
Yeah.
Feed it once in a while, and let the person who is feeding it be afraid,
Yeah.
not just a stranger.
Si mtu
coming.
atakugeuka baadaye
Yes,
kuja
mtu
kuibeba.
atakugeuka baadaye, because it usually happen. You cannot be there all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now that's where I come in.
Yeah. Yes.
Shamelessly plugging himself
Yes.
again.
Yes, that's where I come in. Camera one. I train dogs. My company is called Dog Fathers. Not Godfather. Dog Fathers.
Godfather,
So
dog
ati
father.
kutrain mbwa we usikuje uipe chakula mwenyewe pekee ndo anaipea. Yes. Lazima niji
Contact him.
contact me
Contact him.
at BTP Kenya.
Tutakutumia namba ya Larry.
Imagine these are very important people,
Very.
and there's something that that dogs usually have. They have something which is called non-volatile memory (NVM), but that memory can be corrupted, including the sniffer dogs. Do you know when they're sniffing, there's a way they can go away from their sniffing, and they lose their track. You have to go and rejuvenate and feed the memory again. That this is what you are looking for. You are looking for anti-narcotics. You are looking for, you are looking for this. You are looking for a certain thing. Because they are trained. If you're looking for a gun, sulfur. If you're looking for, because, the ammunitions are made from sulfur.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, okay, I need to be corrected by the experts. But whatever, you may be looking for something like, any other thing, like cocaine or something.
Drugs.
The drugs, narcotics. So if the sniffer dog is training in this direction, it's not very easy to go to the other one.
Yeah.
You need to load the memory again. And to get to a certain place and may sniff something, It loses volatile
Oh
memory.
yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
this in movies where
Yeah.
maybe they're looking for drugs or maybe a dead body.
Yes.
Wanatumianga nguo ya msee. If
Yes.
they're looking for a lady with perfume, watampatia the dog that.
Oh,
And then maybe
yes.
if they come across another smell, they'll have
Yes.
to give the dog that piece of cloth again to smell it. Ndo irudi kufikiria yenyewe. This is the smell I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Okay.
But lucky enough, good to mention, because the thugs can also do that, whereby they can remove the cloth and drop it somewhere. So the dog is looking for that cloth, which had that perfume, and they walk away. A dog, is good to mention that a dog can be in a position to distinguish between over 10,000 scents.
Oh.
So it's able to combine your own natural scent with another scent that we may not be in a position to know. I could be having a scent that you cannot detect. But a dog will do that.
Wow.
Then, about any other additional scent, maybe from the perfumes, it is able to distinguish over 10,000 scents.
Wow.
That's you can see they are good friends. And then a dog can detect decibel is in sound, that you cannot be in a position to hear with your ears. That's when you can hear the dog is barking, and it has a different way of barking.
Yeah.
You know when you hear it, it's silent, then it's barking different way, like, whoa, 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 like that. Should be in a position to distinguish the barking. There is a barking that will tell you there's danger.
Yeah.
That's aggressive barking.
That's very aggressive.
Exactly. That will tell you definitely there's something. There's a barking that comes when the owner of the home comes.
Excitement.
Exactly, excitement.
When the trainer
When the trainer actually is there.
Oh, it's also different.
And these
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are able actually to remove the memory from a dog, even the most fierce dogs. Because through, beating the dog properly, it toes the line to some extent. That's what they
Okay.
usually do in the training.
I have a dog clicker
Yes.
natumianga kutrain so that your clicker ina irritate the dog.
Yeah.
So ikifanya makosa I just click it. So ndo next time I click it and I give it a command seme stop ama seme heal. Heal is when inakimbia na training na kill so anajua.
Yes.
So ikianza kumisbehave na just click inajua and then I give it the command. So next time I won't click, I won't irritate it. I'll just tell it to stop. And when it does the right things inapigwa treat.
Okay.
Yes.
So hizo high frequencies so hiyo clicker inatoa a very
Iri-
Very high.
ina-
Kama
kama
Irritating.
ni bow
Yeah.
lakini hapa
Kwake.
pia niko na pia I also have a whistle hata nikiblow sisikie anything
Yes.
but the dog unaona imekuwa so irritated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can hear even the miniature of decibels. So it can be in a position to alert you this danger that is coming. There's an animal that can attack me, maybe because leopards and lions are there. It can be in a position to detect. And the cry when the lion is coming, something to attack it, is different from when an intruder is coming in. So it should be in a position, it's a lesson for a different, whole lesson for a different day.
Wow. So no, you've mentioned siwezi kumbuka zote, but you've mentioned
Automatic alarm system.
Yes,
Yes.
You've mentioned the homes, the guards,
Yes.
the animals, that's the dogs. Where do guns fall in all these types of different security measures?
The guards or guns.
Gun.
The gun
Dush,
itself.
dush. Yes.
Bunduki.
Now,
Bunduki, Glock.
first and foremost, to own a guard, you must be licensed.
Yes,
Get the license.
definitely.
First. And you're not just given a guard. A gun, you must have a good reason as to why.
Nini
So
unachunga?
you have to produce
Nini
proper
unachunga?
reasons.
Yeah.
In why do you need a gun?
Yeah, where I was working, build the borders. In that place, the government allows security company to have guards.
The
And-
security company.
Exactly.
Or you employees.
Yes, because my company used to be an international one. And then, so we used to have an armory the size of 10 by 10 feet. A full armory. When you come as a guard, you are given a gun and 4 ammunitions. But you must give an account of how you have used them. Because you must return before you get some others in the morning. Then,
Ammunition 4 rounds ama 4
4
mags?
rounds. 4 rounds.
So maybe in 4 magazines.
No, just 4 rounds of ammunition.
Oh, okay.
But
Wait,
there are people
mimi
used to,
hiyo ni lugha sielewi. 4 rounds
Oh.
of ammunition ni 4 bullets.
4 bullets.
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Then the
okay.
magazine, you can have quite a number in them.
Oh,
depending-
ni zile zinakuanga
Exactly.
like
If you look the
I see
G3,
them there.
Hiyo
So
sasa hizo ni
many.
ammunition.
Oh.
Mag ni hiyo
Yeah.
unaonanga inapigwa hapo chini.
Yeah.
Okay.
Magazine, the one which is clicked. Maybe like you lock it down here, and it becomes like a place you can hold on.
Ya kushikilia hivi.
Exactly, like for holding. You can see it hanging down there.
Yeah.
That is full of ammunition.
Okay.
It has a bullet.
Okay.
Then, that one we used to have, arms that have that when you're escorting money or variables. The cash in transit.
Yeah.
We used to have that.
You have to.
Exactly. Something, because I can see we are getting to the tail end of this, it's good to mention that we had mentioned about the sixth sense. Whenever you are driving or walking, you should be worried about, who is around or what is around.
Yeah.
That covers in something we call OHS. That is occupational health and safety.
Or what?
Occupational
Health and
safety.
safety.
That's abbreviated as OHS.
OHS.
It's still another one that goes now to health. We can get another time, possibly. If I'm lucky to get another time, I can train on that.
Yes, please.
Then, that is occupational health and safety. Because we get, especially the young people, they have their phones, and maybe the clip they have been sent to them is very interesting, but they are still working.
Yeah.
And you get somebody just falling in the pit.
Yeah.
You see something like that. Or somebody has the headphones
And you're crossing.
and is walking on the railway line. We have lost lives in that. You have heard of that. Then you should be worried, because actually what usually happens, I mentioned that insecurity can come from within and without. You could, the way we like driving with our pants down. You should know the areas whereby you should enjoy the vent that's coming from the window panes. In fact, when you are going to a place of insecurity, you are not very sure, let your pen be up. And then be worried about, we have seen people, my friend lost a phone because there's somebody who came with a gun, and he came to the widow, this widow, and they were operating us too. Then he told him, patiana hiyo simu. The person who was to correct that phone was on the other widow. So he looks, the person in the gun is just near him here. Then he said, patiana your phone, give that phone. Because the widow was down, he see the kind of phone that this guy was having, then he handed over. So he lost the phone that way. So
You couldn't drive off.
there's a vehicle ahead of you. And that is another thing
Because
I want,
traffic.
which can also part of security. If you see that you're in danger and you're driving, and the guys want to get to your car, bump into the next car.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Let them come so that all of you may have the same situation of insecurity. Akitoka kuuliza mbona umegonga gari yangu, kuna wezi wanataka
really?
kuingia in my
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
Their thugs want to get to my car. That is part of
Umekosa
security.
awareness, yeah.
Exactly. So then, when you're moving around, there's something in psychology, because, in the little bit of training, you have done a little bit of psychology. When actually it happens that there's something which called the spontaneous look. Like when you're driving, and in mahali kuna tumaji, you see most of the people look very fast. So that to know where you're coming, to know whether you're going to throw mud on them, that is called spontaneous.
Yeah.
When somebody looks at you, the first one, then quickly looks at you. The first one was spontaneous, the second one is purposed. If you look to you, the second one and third one should be worried. Either that's somebody who knows about you, then that is somebody who is concerned about you, or that person want to commit a felony.
Yeah.
That's about psychology. When you go somewhere, then you look at a person, maybe he looks at me, then I avoid the look. There's something I'm hiding.
Yeah.
That's psychology. Then, if, let's say, for instance, we are somewhere, you see somebody looking at you like this, then drops the cape that you're wearing, hiding the face. There's something they are planning about you. You should be very cautious about that.
Oh.
Could be in a hotel somewhere, and then somebody looks at you like, then when the eyes meet, somebody. In fact, that reaction is spontaneous, which is very important. Be worried. Look at the person straight again. That person will know. You have already known. That's part of it.
It's part of security.
It's part of security.
Personally,
Yes.
I love doing that to intimidate people. Nikiona unaniangalia,
Yes.
tuangaliane basi.
Tuangaliane.
Tuchomane macho.
Tuchomane.
What do you want? What do you want?
Nitakuangalia mpaka wewe ndio utadrop your
In fact,
stare.
that is security. If somebody
Interesting.
actually wanted and you have already focused like this to the person with the open eyes like this, at first sight, this person was looking at you. Then he has put there and looked down like he's taking tea. And then you could see he's stealing some looks.
Na bado anakupimia pimia.
Yeah. Look continuously. Open eye and look. Continuously. You see a group of people walking out.
Yeah.
That were people who are planning to do something.
Okay.
So that is a long security is actually personal security.
It's really part of us.
Yes, it's in the surrounding.
Actually, in the very small things.
Exactly.
In the very small things.
Exactly. So we need to read about defensive driving.
Why don't they teach that in?
They teach. It's
In
an
driving
option.
school.
Is there?
It's an option. When
It's an
unachagua
option.
unataka
Miss Kufu.
defensive driving ama
Oh.
You pay a little bit more.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because there's a basic driving course, and there's what you usually call the driving course reloaded. They don't call it like so, but it has some supplement.
Okay.
It's usually additional training.
Okay, now I have a question. We talked about the guards and allowing them into our homes, and they play such, not only homes, in every single institution, I think right now, kuna kwanga na guards.
Yes.
But now let's talk about, okay, even in companies, we treat them as family and all of that.
Yes.
But there's a very thin line into how you're going to treat them, because we've heard of stories where there was no break-in, but vitu zimeibiwa either kwa kampuni ama kwa nyumba. That
Yes.
means that this guard is the one who collaborated with.
Yeah.
So you might welcome someone so much that they disrespect your boundaries. So there's that. And there's also treating them as not part of your family, or maybe disrespecting them. Then they collaborate with thieves to steal from you. So where do you draw the line? Ndio wajue,
Yes.
in as much as you're part of us, bado kuna kazi yako, endelea kuheshimu kazi yako.
I'll give a good example with the bosses that you usually have. There's a boss who can be authoritative, but still respectful. And you respect him. In fact, you don't fear him. So with that respect is where now they toe the line. They should know, my boss is so good, but if you cross here.
Yeah.
Exactly. There should also be a place whereby, if you're missing something, ask immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's me, Joseph, ile tai ilikuwa hapa iko wapi? Have you seen it? Mdozi sijaiona lakini nitaitafuta. So you're the one who had hidden it, will bring it back. Niliona ilikuwa na hapa nyuma, and maybe he had purpose to hide so that he may steal it.
Kama kwa car wash.
Yes.
Kama kwa
Noticed
nasema
it.
gumboots kwa car wash.
Yes.
Ya. Unaenda unapata hakuna gumboots. Unaulizwa mtu wa car wash. Na kulikuwa na gumboots hapa, fundi anaanza kusema si nilikuwa nimetoa ni jui mat.
Very
Yes.
sneaky.
Ama battery za gari zenye umeweka kwa boot.
Exactly.
Very sneaky. So another question about the same guards. Do these people go through particular training, especially the big companies?
Yeah, big companies.
They take these people through training, because hawezi kupatia tu mtu ametoka gishagi wanakuletea, sindo?
Yes.
They have to go through training. How do
Yes.
you differentiate between a well-trained soldier or watchman and
Yes.
someone?
You'll be in a position to differentiate that, because actually this is a person who is going to have the sixth sense and can really protect you. And that, because they are taught on that. They are also taught on various things like first aid. And that's why when you have good income, get a guard from a trained place.
It's so you'd actually recommend
Yes, I would recommend that.
the companies.
And
yeah.
then there's usually the insurance cover. If the guard is the one who is undoubtedly committed the felony, you'll be paid.
Really?
Yes, that's what happens. The company was working for.
Ah.
If you lose, let's say for instance something, maybe it's cash in transit, you had lost some money along the way, you'll be compensated possibly in the maybe the following, but about in a day. Even if it's about to a certain amount, I think it's about 20 million or something, could be compensated of that. And then for a guard,
Yeah,
there's
actually,
something.
I
Yeah,
had
sorry.
that. I had
Yeah.
kumbuka ile story ya Quickmart
Quickmart.
yenye walibiwanga na SG.
The watchman collaborated.
Nilisikia walikuwa compensated yote.
Yes.
Quickmart was compensated by
Yeah.
that
But
By
Wells
that
Fargo.
niliona tu Twitter. Unajua niliona Twitter so see facts
X.
so don't come at me.
Yes.
Yeah, so mimi niliona hapo.
I
tu
didn't
walikuwa
know that
compensated.
they should compensate. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think they should compensate.
If at all, but investigation has to be done that indeed their employee is the one who committed the crime. They can't just compensate you.
If, in fact, clearly, the matter, even your matter, if you have a problem, report it within 48 hours. If you report it beyond there, it's null and void.
If you have an issue with your employee,
Not necessarily, legally, any case that you have to report that requires the law, it should be reported within 48 hours.
okay.
If somebody steals your phone, you go to report after 48 hours. That one is already overtaken by a movement unless, yes, report within 48 hours. Then a guard, that's why a guard who has, you can report back to the employer. You can also be in a position to say, if now the person closes the red line, as we say, about towing the line, person becomes disrespectful, inviting people to see it around your gate.
Yeah.
Unaendeleaje wewe nini?
You know?
Such a thing like that. You should ask for a change in the next shift when you're working with a company. Say, I don't want Joseph. I want Riley. And if there's a guard who was working in your place called Riley, you're not a guard. But you see, if do you still have Riley within the company, I want that person. You have even seen people who have employed guards who have been terminated, who lost job in their previous because of the way they related with the person they employed.
Yeah.
Yes. So towing the line, it is easier for the guard to tow the line, knowing that you can report them. But when you are the immediate boss,
inakuwa ngumu.
hata nakwambia as you nivute, just ask me, mimi nitaenda kwetu. But when you know that there's a place, they have the map of their home, they have the IDs, they have everything. And that is another thing. When you employ somebody in your home, ask for identification.
Details, yeah.
Details. Those details will save you. When the person is about to commit a felony, and remembers you have the details, we'll avoid doing that.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing that people usually ignore. But those are red alerts. Somebody can know if this person doesn't have, I lied on my name, I'm called Job and I'm giving Joseph. So there's no way somebody can track me. I come from a certain area, but I say the other corner of Kenya. So when you're going to look, if I say that I come from Mombasa, for example, and I come from the border of Uganda, when you're going to look for me in this place already, close to Kampala, you'll never get a track of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that employing security can be such a complex thing, but
It has.
it's important because
Yeah.
nimeona some companies, so they're kind of rotated.
They request for rotation.
Yeah, they request for rotation. Ndo pia tawa sikwe very familiar and then they become very complacent. Interesting.
In fact, you have used the word, they become complacent.
I'm smart.
And then,
I'm
yes,
smart.
wonderful. Yes, that is a word actually we use in security.
Yeah.
To avoid complacence, do the rotation. Even in the point of stations. Let's say, for instance, is a big place whereby somebody is in a certain in the fueling pump. The other one is in the office block. The other one in a certain area. Let them rotate.
Okay.
Go to the gate for this month. Let the one who is at the gate go now to the like that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Not because you've worked in the security business for
Yes.
such a long time. I know you've seen trends come and go, and you know, nimesema wewe ni guru when we started this career bit.
I'm humbled.
You're a
Very
guru
humbled.
because
Yeah.
27 years of experience
Yes.
is a lot. Is a lot.
Yes.
So, what would you advise, or what is the best security measure for your home?
The best security measure, this goes, the technology these days. You know, we were on a certain level. Then it came, you know, those people who did the design, they did something called CADs. Those are computer-aided designs. And then it came to AI, which is artificial intelligence. That's where now the world is at.
Right now, yeah.
Artificial intelligence or Apple intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. According to that.
Ziko zote mbili.
Apple intelligence.
Apple wanawezi ita artificial or
Exactly.
Apple intelligence.
Apple intelligence, yeah. Because actually, I think they are the brain behind it. So the way it is that the best, with the kind of, you know, you marry something which is called electronic and manned guarding. If, let's say, for instance, you are not having enough cash, what companies are doing at the moment, they are downsizing on manned guarding and investing on electronic guarding, on electronic security. Because you can have one person manning the whole industry with the cameras.
Yeah.
You have cameras watching various corners of your industry, of your at home. Then you yourself, you can see them through your phone from wherever you are.
Yeah.
If you're working in a certain office, you have cameras doing the job for you. Because you can just have Wi-Fi, and then where you have your phone has Wi-Fi. We have done job for somebody who is actually seeing all the way from England, Australia, all those places. And
it's interesting.
We also have,
because I also have an app here.
Exactly.
To monitor a certain thing that my brother over here installed.
Exactly.
No,
in fact, those apps, they help a lot. And what you do is that they're there from the App Store. You just download, and the manufacturers of these gadgets upload them for ease of monitoring. So you can be in a position. In fact, from where I am, I can be in a position to see the school. Yeah, the school, the KBA school. Another person who is in charge of the equipment also can see that.
Yeah.
You can be in a position to see, and whereby you can have a sneak preview, even at night seeing, and you can call a person and see what is happening.
Yeah.
In a certain place. So by that time, you're also aiding in the manned Why I'm watching a certain place and nobody is patrolling? Such a thing like that. Then the best one for home, to answer your question, have the electronic security.
Yeah.
You can be in a position that is automatic alarm system.
From anywhere.
Exactly. With the present technology, you can be in that position. If somebody feels it when you're in a holiday somewhere, in wherever you are, in Hawaii or wherever you are,
You can.
and your brother comes home and had traveled from far, you can disarm the system from your phone,
Yeah.
from wherever part of the world you are,
Okay.
so long as there's internet.
Okay.
That's the only thing. So electronic system, automatic system, is the best actually for your home. I'll say that.
Okay.
If you have a little bit of an investment, you can do cameras, which even from abroad,
You can.
we have
monitor.
a camera that you can communicate with. In fact, that's what most of the people do. A voice that you can raise a voice as high as you are, as I can raise. So you can be in a position to say, to call. You are seeing a person, say, where are you going?
Yeah.
You're just entering home at this very time. By that time is your house manager.
Yeah.
You call, it's Mama Apple. By that is a camera
Yeah.
that you're communicating with.
It's
Then from your phone, you can follow the person. It
You
has
can.
something we call the PTZ, which is pan, tilt, and zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something that's interesting.
Yes.
Anafuatilia hivi
Yes.
kwa sababu I installed a security system
Yes.
in their shop,
Yes.
and she does everything that you're saying. So
Yes.
that's why ako so
Yes. Yes.
Nimetoka kuchungulia
That's
Kenya
quite
ndio
practical.
job anafanya.
'cause
Ah, you
I've just
see.
done
Yes.
it. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
installed for her PTZ
Yes.
camera, so anakwanga tu kwa simu which can communicate with.
Yeah,
so
I can talk to her.
Yes.
She can talk to whoever is working there.
You know,
Yeah.
but you already confirmed now it can happen.
It's
Yeah.
very nice.
So that is a technology
Very
that most of the people do
efficient,
not know.
actually.
It's good that we have people like this who can do that.
Yeah.
And in fact, my area and IT moves like
Hand
this.
in hand.
Hand in hand.
Tech bros.
Because now, when I do the installation, my IT team is the one that does the loading on the phone.
Yeah.
And I know he's capable of doing that
Yeah.
as well. So like the way he said, we have done NABA project with him. He's good at it. He's perfected the art.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
And the sky is the remit, just like the PDB,
Yeah.
what do you call it? That Beyond the
BTP,
Pulpit.
yeah.
Beyond the
Yeah.
pulpit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Actually, now nataka advice.
Yes.
I've worked on some projects and maybe a few clients, maybe one or two,
Yeah.
wananiambia nataka ikuwe discreet. Nataka kusikue na ati watu wasijue kuna cameras hapa. But now personally,
Yes.
this is why I'm asking for advice. I tell them, ni poa useme hapa kuna camera. That's why you go to some places and you see this area is manned, nini CCTV surveillance, and I try to tell them it's better watu wajue kuna cameras hapa badala ati ufiche ndio ukuje kuprevent the problem later.
Yes.
Heri and ukuje kukiwa the problem rather you prevent it from happening. At least unaona kama venye sasa unaweza ambia the one who's working there, you just tell away na kucheki instead of ati unaificha ndio ikisha happen and the
Yes.
theft. So you want to now see the surveillance video
Yes.
after. So ndio mwanzo sasa kukimbia.
Yeah.
So what would you advise mtu akuwe na anajua kuna kamera ama ufiche?
There are prevalences. There are people who want something we call investigative cameras. So they are following on a certain incident that happens. With that, you cannot actually, you put something we call the covert cameras.
Okay.
Those that you can hide. You can put a camera here, nobody knows.
Mm.
In fact,
Ndani ya
that's
saa.
something hanging there could be a camera even.
Even the fan.
Even the
Unaweza
fan,
hapo kwa fan
there's a
katikati.
pen,
So tiny.
so tiny. There are those like those which are called the nanny cameras.
Yeah, the nanny comes. Yeah.
You put them actually on the cloth or near the TV.
On a doll.
On a door.
Doll,
But mostly you put it on a TV
Kwa-
because somebody like must sit in a certain
Iko.
place whereby anaona TV.
Anaonekana, yeah.
Exactly. And mostly you sit in a place anaona programs at TV. So you just put it over there. There are those others which are actually made of hanger that you can just put a hanger somewhere. There are those others investigative that usually have a pen. You just put a pen here. Then it has something we call the pinhole camera.
Yeah.
So as we are talking like this is recording.
Pinhole
That's why you can see most of the people in the media.
Yeah.
They disclose a lot of information. You wonder how did they manage to do that?
Especially when it comes to investigative
Exactly.
journalism.
Yes. That's simply that's the way it is. So there are those. If somebody wants investigative cameras, you know, in security, there's what you can do. The curbing of crime. That we put cameras and you put a big label.
Okay.
You are the surveillance. So somebody will avoid to commit a felony. But if somebody wants something investigation, you want investigation, you can put the covered cameras.
Okay.
That one you can hide and I can be in a position to do the job for you.
All right.
Yes, that's how it is.
Because
Okay.
kuna actually a place niliweka camera
Uh-huh.
and that it's in a shop that sells clothes. Then
Yes.
the lady told me your TV kwenye ina feed
Yes.
iweke the customers waone ndo
Yes.
wajue wanaangaliwa
Exactly.
usiibe nguo. It's not even for her per se, it's just for
Yes.
that the camera the customers can see in the TV. Pale nimesimama naweza ona
Ninaonekana.
namulikwa so
Yes.
nisifanye any malice. Na pia kuna mali nilienda the client said anataka amekuwa akirealize vitu zinapotea kwa nyumba.
Yes.
So aliniambia niweke cameras to just investigate whatever you said ndo ajue
Yes.
kama ni house help anaiba like whatever.
Yes. Basically, that's how it is.
Okay.
So you can also marry the covert together with the visual, with the camera, that you can be in a position, the conspicuous ones.
And there are also some people who want decoys.
Exactly. So exactly, decoys actually, yeah.
See cameras.
See
it
camera,
just-
they're
it
called
loo-
dummy.
It just looks like a camera. It's
Yeah.
not working ile
Yeah.
tu ukae unacheki hapa ninaangaliwa. But it's not a camera.
Yeah. They're
Then
called
what's the
dummies. In fact, they're
Dummies.
made so well,
See.
they even have a cable.
Mpaka
Yes.
inaweza waka lakini
Yes.
hakuna kamera hapo.
Then what's the essence of okay? I might not understand.
Maybe ndo ukikuja uone kuna
Ya kuingiza
kamera.
msee baridi.
Ya kuingiza msee baridi.
Okay.
Lakini Nairobi kweli.
psychological.
Okay.
Nairobi kweli.
In Nairobi, yeah.
Maybe Ocha ndo unaweza ingiza wasee baridi.
Yeah.
Eh,
Because unamsea kuja ibe ya property ashapiga research yake, ashajua masaa zako vitu kaa hizo.
True,
Yeah.
true, true. Okay, I think there's a lot that we can't cover,
Yes.
but now I'd like for you to now talk to a lot of people. You said security is everywhere.
Yes.
So I think maybe you can give like 2 tips. You've talked about knowing your surrounding, but I think you can, there's so much that you've not talked about.
Yes.
So maybe 2 topmost tips that you can give people, especially when it matters security,
Yes.
to go on in your day-to-day activities.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 tips in matters security, and then from there we can see.
Thank you so much. In fact, I'll be in a position actually to revisit what I had said. Whenever the security is within and without, and there's a way you can protect your within with the cameras, with the CCTV, with the electric fans, and everything. So you have already locked yourself up. So people will not get into your house, but wait for you, like what Lali had said. They will enter the house with you when the gate will, because the gate will open at a certain point. There is also, I think, with that one, you can know the surroundings. Just know the surrounding around you. We have heard of somebody actually who had a very powerful headphones. And a chopper came all the way and fell on the person. I've heard that story. It's in the Google all the time.
No, I haven't.
Was a Kenyan guy who was
A Kenyan?
actually, yeah, he was not recently, but actually he was in a Fallard doing studies. I don't know whether he had gotten the job or something, but enjoying the music, the chopper came, because the chopper is quite loud, and fell on the person and died. I can be in a position to get the details for you afterwards, but it happened, and that guy was a Kenyan,
Wow,
but in a Fallard doing studies.
that is so sad.
So with that one, let's not just be careless. Not enjoy the music. That's it's recorded. You can hear it any other time.
Yeah.
Be wary. In fact, if you really want to hear, and maybe it's a call that you want to be, you are expecting somebody to call you, bear one, just wear one earbud. That's whatever, microphone.
Yeah.
Just a single one, so that the other one,
Equal alert.
and then because actually whatever is in this earphone can actually carry your mind. Let your eyes do the walking at the same time.
Yeah.
Look around. Be worried about that. It's something I would like to advise about.
Okay.
Then invest in security, like not really in cash. When you are actually along the way, because insecurity is everywhere.
Yeah.
You think you are secure because you are innocent. You don't hurt anybody. You don't owe anybody. But somebody wants just to snatch from wherever you have, because you just get somebody staying somewhere, he earns his living from, causing insecurity on you. So just be worried. Take the best measures that you can take about yourself, and you'll be secure.
Okay.
Those are the 2 tips I can give. Yeah.
Okay, now sasa tutoke kidogo kwa ofisi. When you are off duty,
Yes.
nimeona gari yako mataya ni kubwa hivi, uko
Yes.
na spoiler noma.
Yes.
So any Gen Z at heart.
Thank
So
you.
when you're off duty, what kind of tech gadgets fascinates you? Something must kill a man. Kama producer wetu ukiingia kwa nyumba yake.
Yes.
Just he has so many
Something must kill a man.
gadgets.
Yes.
So what tech gadgets hizo vitu zinakufascinate?
So like for me, I
when
like
you're off duty, si mambo na security sasa.
exactly. I like good music,
Eh.
and it must be good, as in good that when you drop a needle, I'll hear it from the speaker.
Oh.
That is something I like.
Dolby Atmos.
Exactly, that's the thing. So, like what you say in my car, in fact, like now I'm annoyed my car do not have very good music. I'll work on that. Lucky enough, I can work my hands on the same. When I'm during my leisure time, that I can say today, I'm working on the audio of my car. When actually, the other thing that fascinates me, mobility. It's not another thing. Not that you are driving, you say, I'm going to Mombasa, and then you start calling a mechanic. Let your vehicle be at a, you know, because it's called, could also be another source of insecurity. You could be driving from a certain place, and right in the middle of the bush, a place you don't know, the vehicle stalls. So you make sure your vehicle is roadworthy, and it can take you from point 1 to B. So that is something I'm very concerned about.
Okay.
I won't say something to do with the bar swimming, because if the water is beyond my knees, I can't. That is not, that's how I swim.
If the water is?
It's beyond my knees. Maji kipita magoti is not my water. Yeah. I like at a place whereby when I'm in the water, even in the ocean. I like the ocean, but just the view.
Yeah.
The expansion of the water actually leaves me. But ikipita kwa magoti, I remember I almost drowned in a certain pool.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Water is the most dangerous.
It's PTSD. That's PTSD talking.
I have something which is called the hydrophobia.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think time is running up, and there's so much.
We'll have to get him again.
We'll
Apa.
have to, because I don't think we've exhausted everything that we wanted to talk about. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can personally say I've learned a lot. For example, I think kenye nitatoka tu nayo leo ni closed circuit television.
Yes.
That one I didn't know, and I was
unajua
today.
Unajua meaning ya
Na
wifi?
niko nayo. Hapana, usianze kunini.
Sasa ujue vitu mbili.
Unaniambia
Wifi ujue vitu mbili. Ama ndakwambia wifi wireless fidelity. Hivyo tu.
That's
it.
I need to hang out with tech bros a bit more often, but anyway.
They will break your heart.
You do not have a good, you don't have a very good name huko nje, but tutajua. But thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm humbled.
I have learned a lot.
Yes.
Information that I will use right now, and even in future when I have a home and businesses. At least I know a thing or two.
Yes.
That I can even turn to you for help. Unafanyanga consultancy?
I do.
You do?
At a cost.
Of course. Hapa
Totally,
tumepatiwa free gems, but kidogo ukimtafuta
next episode nikaa tutalipa.
ni kama atatutumia invoice, atatuambia nyinyi sasa ni kama mnaiba information. Acha let me, but thank you so much for being here, for even creating the time.
Thank you.
It's an honor, and I hope our viewers have also learned a thing or two, or 10 or 50,
and our audience
and
here
yes, hata wenye wako uko nyuma, I know you've learned a lot, so thank you so much. Again, I cannot stop saying thank you, but thank you so much. Hata Larry wewe, thank you for being here. Thank you our viewers for watching today's episode. Do not forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel at BTP Kenya. Follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Pulpit _Kenya. On Spotify, follow us and stream. Share this content because we want to all learn a thing or two. Do not forget to watch our previous episodes, episode 1 and episode 2, which has part 1 and 2. There's a lot that you can learn from all of those. Keep in touch with us for anything with Gikonyo. If you want consultancy services, I think reach out to us. Atuweki details zake, but reach out to us. We will link you up with him. Mwende muonge na yeye on a deeper level. I look forward to being here with you again on the next episode. And keep safe, keep warm, keep hot. I don't know what you're going to do, but just see you on the next episode of BTP. Goodbye.